jocks who sing, nerds who dance, and a cafeteria that breaks into choreography? Today we answer the question, does High School Musical still hit the right notes? Or should we stick to the status quo? We're breaking free to find out if this Disney Channel phenomenon still slaps. Grab your teammates and warm up those vocal cords because we're watching another movie at Grandma's. Hello, please come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Welcome to Movies at Grandma's House, where we love to watch movies from our childhood to answer the question, does it still hold up? And is it family-friendly enough that even Grandma will enjoy? And I'm your host, Isaac. I'd rather stick needles in my eyes.
And this is Seth. Wouldn't it be awfully uncomfortable?
Oh, welcome one and all the grandmas. It is great to see you, Seth. What is Grandma putting on for us to watch today?
We are discussing 2006's High School Musical.
Yes. So, if you have not seen this film, just a fair warning. We are going to be talking about it, breaking it all down, and how we felt coming back to this movie after 20 years. So from here on out, consider it spoiler territory. You have been warned. Well, before we jump into this, let's get a little bit more information as we look the back of the film case and some film facts. So High School Musical was released on Disney Channel, January 20th, 2006. Keep that in mind that it was on TV on release, not a theater release. The budget was $4.2 million. The box office does not have any information. Again, it was on the Disney Channel. However, a little fun fact, it drew a record 7.7 US viewers at the time. Looking around at some reviews, IMDb has a 5.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 67%. Letterboxd has a 3.3 out of 5. Currently, as of this recording, you can watch it on Disney+, Fubo TV, Sling TV, YouTube Premium, and even TikTok. You're going to have to watch it over 50 segments, but that's right, it is for free on TikTok. It stars Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Tisdale, Lucas Grabeel, and many more. It's in association with Salty Pictures and First Street Films. And last but not least, we got to hear, how does Grandma feel about this one?
Granny's family-friendly rating for High School Musical is an A- for some adult themes.
All right, and we want to hear from you. Be sure you leave a comment, your rating, any memories that you have. Again, this is 20 years old, so we'd love to hear that. Be sure you comment down below. Well, let's get our first memories when it comes to this. Again, 20 years. It just celebrated its 20th anniversary. Seth, I'm really interested. What are some of your first memories with High School Musical?
Well, I watched this for the first time last week.
Oh, really?
So I'm coming in fresh.
I think it goes without saying, this was maybe, we were kind of past this time. This was High School Musical for people in high school. And I hate to say it, but I think I was too old for it this time. My first memories is I remember this being everywhere. We're going to probably talk about it more, how impact it had on the Disney Channel and all those things. But I had no interest in watching this one, to be honest. I'm like, nope, this just does not look interesting to me. So I am actually with you. This was the first time for me watching. So looky there, both of us watching a movie for the first time. Well, taking that approach, what were your expectations watching this film for the first time?
So really, I was just hoping that it would hold up after 20 years, because that's all I knew about it, is that it was 20. I mean, it was popular. I knew that, but I didn't really know anything about the musical, about the movie. So just hoping it holds up.
Yeah, I was with you. I'm like, I'm going to give this a fair chance. I'm not usually a musical guy. We've considered our musicals, but I can normally look and be like, I like this or I like that about it and still give it a fair shake, so to say. My kids on the other side, it's kind of like I got to bribe them to get them to watch these. So this was a struggle, but we got through it. So that was my expectation, was just, let's get through this. Let's just see what their reaction is. And who knows, maybe they will like it. It's a more modern musical. We've looked at much older ones. Maybe, who knows? They actually like it. But that was kind of my expectation of just, like you were saying, I hope it's still good after 20 years and we're able to get some kind of enjoyment out of it. If, again, we don't like musicals as much, but we'll see what happens. I was very interested. Well, before we get into the plot rewind, let's pause just a moment to hear from our sponsors.
Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today.
All right. For this, we are going to pull up streaming. Maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's Disney Plus, but let's pull up streaming and press play.
Troy, a young captain of the basketball team, meets Gabriella at a party during the winter break. They are forced to sing karaoke together. They exchange numbers, thinking they will never meet again, until Gabriella shows up at Troy's school. They both hesitantly try out for the school's musical. It's an uphill battle from there versus the entire school. Will Gabriella compete in the decathlon and Troy win the basketball championship? Find out on today's episode of Movies at Grandma's House.
There you go, folks. That is the summary for High School Musical. 20 years ago, this came out, and I mentioned it before. This set records. It was just everywhere. I remember merchandise being all over the place. It kind of brought me back as I'm watching this now for the first time. I'm like, okay, I remember this time period. I could tell the styles of the kids and the slang words they were using. I'm like, this is definitely taking me back to the 2000s. But I'm just too curious, Seth. Let's start with you. What's your first impressions as you're watching this film?
Surprisingly, I really liked the intro of this movie. I thought that they set the scene up really well as the basis for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it kind of gets right into it. There's no, let's just gradually build. So if you're looking at the perspective of the plot, it just kind of throws you into it. Here's the scenario. This jock that likes to sing, come to find out. He doesn't know it at the time, but he's thrown into a karaoke and kind of hits it off with Gabriella. It to me felt more like a play more than a musical. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, that's the kind of the approach I think you've got to look at this, because if you're watching this as this is a full-blown production movie, it might take you out a little bit because of just the scenarios like that of just getting thrown in. Again, it's a musical, so you have to understand they're going to be singing about this or they're going to be singing about that. But I got that sense a little bit more of like, this is kind of more of a play setting of like actors that might run behind the stage and they change costumes and then they come right back. They were capturing that. So if they were going for that angle, they did a really good job with it. That's the positive I'll really throw that way. But what'd you think of the plot of its development? Now, I've heard it's kind of based off of another musical, if you get my drift. Did you catch that?
No.
No? I thought it was based off of Grease, like loosely.
Oh, okay.
Did you get that at all?
I could see that. I could see the comparison.
Okay. That's what I kept hearing. Everyone was saying it's the modern Grease. It's
okay.
That scenario of like the jock that actually likes singing and all this and that. But overall, what did you think of that plot? I mean, you don't have to compare it to Grease. I just kind of threw that in there.
So for a teenage movie, I thought this was very complex with a lot of moving pieces, but maybe not the strongest plot. But it worked with its premise, so it worked for what they had to work with. It definitely told its premise.
Yeah, it gets you to point A to point B really well. Like there's going to be some scenarios of just mix-ups. Again, they kind of hit it off at the beginning. It's focusing on Troy and Gabriella, but you have all these supporting characters, of course. But they're almost trying to keep them from. They act like they're throwing their lives away. Like, Troy, you can't do that. You're on this basketball team. You can't sing. It's just, and so they kind of sabotage them later in the movie. And the same thing with Gabriella. She's this like smart one on this like team for the science, I think. And yeah, I'm just not thinking clearly what it was exactly. But point being, that's kind of frowned upon too. Like those, I was kind of like, okay, that's the time period back then. Like, it's just you can't do one thing and this over here. So that was kind of the plot. Like,
you're not familiar with an academic decathlon?
That's it. Thank you. Never entered one. Can you tell? I was not good in science. Not my thing.
Me either.
Still did better than me. I was not good at science. But I will say, like, this musical overall, because that's where we got to get to. There's the plots, but maybe we'll back it up a little bit. I wanted to jump into the songs, but let's talk about the characters. I'm interested. What did you think of the characters?
So we can elaborate, but I just wrote down a really quick thing. So as the good as the leads were, I really focused on the supporting cast a lot. Each person had its own story to tell, and I really thought that each of the characters really added to the scenes that they were in. It wasn't just like it had to be about the two main characters. I thought they kind of took from, each other's personalities and kind of built it around them, maybe.
Yeah. I'll say that so you have Troy, he's the main character, the one that's the jock, that's played by Zac Efron. You have Gabriella, she's the other main, but Sharpay, if that's how you say her name, she's kind of that mean girl. I mean, they definitely leaned into that. Mean Girls had already come out at that point. She plays that really well. Like, I think she was my favorite character, actually. I really think Ashley Tisdale did a good job. She was like, this is the character, and I'm just going for it. I'm going to be this person that's, kind of that mean girl. So she does a good job with it. I also liked, his name was Zeke. He was kind of that clueless guy that bakes on the side. Again, kind of frowned upon. You're on the basketball team, but he has his interests and stuff. So I like that positive message of like, break out of the mold that people are going to say you can only do this or that. You have other interests, go for it. I enjoyed that part of it. Some of the other actors, though, I will admit their acting was kind of cringe to me. I was feeling it at times. And I have to step back because this is not a full-fledged production. This aired on Disney Channel. So you have to look at it like this is almost like a direct to VHS. That's how we remember it, direct to video, direct to DVD, whatever you want to call it. But I will hand it to it. Like the production value is almost in that middle. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's almost like there's a direct to video where it's just they outsource everything to cheap studios. And then you have obviously your blockbuster like movie productions. It felt like they almost hit that middle point. Is there even like a term for that? Like, I don't know, not B grade movies, but you know how they grade movies, if I'm making any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like an independent feature, but it's Disney. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a positive I'll really throw out there. It definitely has its glaring issues, though, of just, I don't know if they were stressed for time. I don't know if it was they didn't have a good editor. There was a lot of moments where it was like, what? The example was like they're setting up Troy to say, I'm all for the team. So he's on this webcam and Gabriella sees it. And I mean, that's a good little twist. You have to have these little monkey wrenches for the plot. My issue was they show a close up of the webcam. Did you notice where it said Wi-Fi receive? It said receiving Wi-Fi. They misspelled receiving on the Wi-Fi.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that you can blink and miss it. But I'm just like, you guys couldn't remember to the spell receiving on a thing that's blowing up really big. There was another scene like Sharpay goes in the bathroom and she's trying to find Gabrielle, like catch her. And then she walks through and Gabrielle comes right by the wall she walked by. I'm like, how did you miss her? Did you remember that scene?
Yeah, I caught that for sure. Yeah. Thought that was quite interesting.
It's just little stuff where it wasn't as polished. It was, I give them credit. There's times where it's like, okay, I get why this was such a record-breaking musical airing on Disney Channel. But then there's some just errors on the editing side. I think if they would have took more time, it would have been more polished. That was kind of the thought. And I'll go out and say the singing kind of took me out at times. Some songs were better than others, but they didn't sync up the lip syncing, because I understand what they'll do is they'll record the songs beforehand. They're not obviously singing and dancing. They'd be out of breath doing take after take of that. So I totally understand. But the lip syncing was off a little bit. And did you notice Zac Efron's character, the voice changed like 3 times? It was like a different singer.
I have a fun fact about that. Yeah.
I wasn't wrong about it. I have a feeling I'm not wrong. It was glaringly different to me, though, because I was like, is this the same guy? And it's a different song tone, but it was like, you guys could have did a little better disguising. Like, this is maybe a different singer that could hit that note, but little inconsistencies like that kind of was like, okay, this is where it's showing its age. That's where I'll go back to with the age. But back to you. What did you think of the music and all that? Of course, this is called a musical, so.
I agree with you. There were a few songs I felt were out of place. They seemed forced, like it was like they had to put them in there. Overall, I enjoyed most of the songs. I felt like some of them were like, why is this here in this scene, and why do I have to watch this song? And I didn't count, like I usually count or look up how many songs were in it, but there were quite a few songs in this one.
There were.
And I said majority of them I liked, so I can't say that I fault them for too much of it. It's just some of them just were a little out of place, if you ask me.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not bashing all of it. There was actually some where I was like, yeah, that's a catchy song. I think it's well written. I can totally get why people were, I again, did not watch this, but I remember people singing it. So it was kind of like, I kind of remembered this song because people would sing it or they would play it. You know, it was a smash hit for that reason. You totally get it. I don't know. There's a song called Status Quo. I will make another note. Not all of them, but certain singers were really bad. I don't know if you caught that. There's the Status Quo song in the cafeteria, and the one kid goes, I've got a confession. My own secret obsession. It's, you caught that too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, am I the only one that I'm like, and I'm watching it with my kids and my wife, and they're like doing that, like, ooh, nails on a chalkboard. I don't remember songs causing pain like that did. It was just like, I actually rewound it. Like, did I hear that right? And it went, ooh, I go back to the editing. Like, how did that get through? I wish they would have cleaned it up a little better. So
the funny thing about that is, if I can jump in, is that I thought that song was kind of important to the story.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked how they did it, but I agree with you, like 90% of the singers could not sing. And I was kind of like, why didn't they hire a singer instead of an actor? Like, why?
It's a musical.
Why would you? Yeah, it's a musical. Why would you hire an actor first? And that, I don't know. I kind of, okay, so I watched it twice, and that was it was harder on the second viewing for sure.
I feel for you on that. Like that.
It was rough. I mean, it really was. That was probably the most noticeable mistakes of the film.
Yeah. Because there's some good singing. I'm not trying to say like everybody. There were some moments where I'm like, okay, that was nice. That was good. I think the songs where there's more singers, it masks it a little bit better too. Like when there's now that song that I just mentioned with the cafeteria was an example. Unfortunately, he's singing by himself at the beginning and all the focus is on him. And it's just more glaring. But like the very end where they're obviously, hey, we won the championship. Yay, let's all celebrate. You know, like musicals do kind of have that finale. I thought that was solid. I mean, you got to have some kind of finale song. So that works. But even the singing all together, it worked. So those types of songs I was all for. But I agree with you. Like some of the songs, it's just like, ooh, like I don't know what you guys were thinking. It used to be, like you said, that is a good. It's just, unfortunately, you wonder, they just went for, let's get an attractive actor.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it a face they were looking for? Like they wanted a certain face?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but like, is it better for a musical to go with somebody who can sing?
Yeah. They went for, it worked. What can you say, right? Again, they set a record, and I hate to say it, but people were like, look at all these attractive actors I got to watch. And you know, for us coming back to years later, it's like we're watching this as a movie or, you know, as a musical. And it's like, this is just wildly inconsistent. That's the word that comes to my mind is it's just really inconsistent where there shows flashes of, hey, this could have been a more solid, like overall, but they cut corners. Like you said, they didn't actually have singers. So that's my problem with it. I would say is a big negative about this film is they could have just go with singers. Like, note to self, people, whenever you do a musical, get legit singers. It doesn't work for the long term, maybe short term, but to me, no, I'm not going to approve of that kind of thing. But anything else anything else that we might have missed on touching?
No, I've got a couple quotes, but I mean, you're exactly right. You're 100% right. And that the songs, like some of them were like, what are they doing with this? Like, it doesn't fit. And then if it's cringy, it's cringy. And like, why did they do that? But you're 100% right. I can't say any better than what you said.
I'm just laughing. Like, another thing of like this tells you how old I am, because I'm sure there's younger generation. Like, what are you talking about? I think you look at this movie later, and this is totally out of left field. This is something else I made a note of, and I came across. Remember the song kind of towards the end when the championships game's going on, and it's Sharpay and her brother. They're singing that, like, is it a Latino, like Latin? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She says, suave, and she's doing all this stuff. I started laughing because my mind went to Rico Suave.
That does show your age.
I'm like, this is just why it's probably not hitting for me. This is not my generation of movie. Because that's what I was thinking. I'm like almost playing off of scenes. Like, my mind's going to pop culture from way before this generation's that's loving this movie. So I just
before we go any further, I did thank you for asking me. I did want to make a mention. I felt like the greatest singer in this film was Sharpay's brother. Like that, he really was legit talented in that field. And even though he like overdid it a few times, which is it's theater. I mean, that's what it is. But he did an amazing job singing, and I felt like his vocals were right on point the entire film. And I was really impressed by that. I just wanted to note that for sure.
Right. That's an example of like, there is good singing. It sounds like just, it was terrible, but it wasn't polished. That's the best way I can put it. If they would have just spent a little more time ironing out those, like, again, they're off key at times. It's like, ooh,
they could even fix that in post-production, I think. Really? Yeah.
That's where I put the blame. Because again, post-production should have caught Sharpay walking past a wall that Gabrielle is standing right there. And I don't know why that scene bugged me so much. I'm just like, that is really bad editing they could have shot at a different angle to kind of show you maybe she hid behind a trash can. But it just shows her like behind the wall, like that was her hiding spot. And I don't know, it just Sharpay would be a terrible player in hide and go seek. Let me just say, she would be looking for hours for people. She would not be able to find people. But anyway, I'm so anxious. Like, I cannot wait to hear what kind of fun facts you have, because I'm sure there's some good ones.
Well, actually, I've got stuff before that. So if we can
go for it. I'm jumping ahead. Anything else you want to touch on? Feel free.
I've got quotes, and then I've got the scene breakdown. So, there's 3 quotes. They're really quick. So the first quote that I found was, we need to save our show from people who don't know the difference between a Tony Award and Tony Hawk. I love that line. I can explain offline why I love that line so much, but I love that line. And then also, hip hop is my passion. I love to pop and lock and jam and break. That felt so out of place. It was so funny. And then in the basketball court, he goes, "That's traveling. No, that's really bad traveling." And I really thought that scene was cute. I like that.
If you play basketball on the court, that's a good line, I will say. There was a really weird quote. I'm trying to pull it up now, but it's the scene that goes to where Gabrielle and Troy first see each other again at school. Yeah. Like, it was a flash forward or whatever from their karaoke or whatever. And Troy's talking with a guy, and it's just so random. Mm-hmm. He says something like, his friend says something like, "Do you not remember the night before?" And he's like, "I don't know. It was like pink sticky goo or something." And I was like, what? Did you catch that or remember that at all?
No,
I'm trying to find it.
I don't remember. I remember the scene. I don't remember the words. So that's funny.
It was just
funny.
like, I have it written down here. Here it was. One of the guys says, "Do you remember the night before?" And Troy says, "No, I just recall pink jelly."
Not at all. All I remember is like pink jelly.
It's just like, what?
Is it a deleted scene or something? Like maybe that's a deleted scene from the.
I might be crazy. I mean, that's where I might go back and check it and see if I'm crazy. But I swear that's what I heard. Like,
I feel like I have to buy the DVD now and see if there's deleted scenes.
Don't buy it. It's free. I watched it on Disney Plus. You can watch it on TikTok too. Remember, that's on for free. But that might be the way to do it. Look it up on TikTok. It should be one of the first
scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, right after it's where they're in school and he's like sitting on a desk and just kind of looking around. And his friend just I don't know. That was so weird. There's quotes like that where you said they're pretty good. And then there's other ones like that. You're going, what? Like, I had a few of those. It's just so weird. There was one, they were trying to be funny. The teacher was like, "Where's your sports posse?" And he's like, "You mean a team?" It was like, maybe you get a chuckle out of that, but it was just so forced. It was a forced joke to me. I was like, no, that's just, I think everybody knows it's called a team. Like, where's your team at, you know? But anyway,
all right.
Anything.
So I've got one scene that I really enjoyed, and I hope you did too. So I really enjoyed the callback scene in the auditorium where Gabriella is hesitant to sing in front of others, but Troy eases her anxiety, and sometimes we just need a support. Whomever it comes from or whatever the shape it takes, with someone we trust, we can reach out of our comfort zone and fulfill our dreams in some situations. Or even if anything, it helps us to endure better, learning to cope with life's troubles. So I really got a lot out of that scene, and I thought that was really well done, and the song was beautiful as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive. That's where I'll throw it. Like, it had focus on, like you said, having support, having people that if you're wanting to, sing and you're a jock, you're considered a jock, and that's frowned upon. But you have support. You should have that. That's interest that you want to do. It shouldn't be someone forcing you. Peer pressure. Peer pressure can be a good thing, but in a bad way, it can make you feel bad. Like, I'm not good enough for doing this or that. So that's a great scene. I agree. Like, that does build up that song really well. It leads into it. And it does a good job of, like, again, she's considered a nerd, so she's not as outgoing. So that was a good strength of that scene, was it kind of played the characters well. So I'll give it that too. That was a really good scene to highlight and kind of bring out more. Okay, so are we ready for some fun facts?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right. The first one I found was filming took place over 24 days. Okay, so as you and I know, even a smaller production like this one, it usually takes months to film a movie.
Yeah.
24 days. That's really rushed. So you're onto something with what you said earlier. They were definitely trying to fit this one in for the budget, for sure.
Disney must have had some unreasonable deadline that they just, unfortunately, I mean, for I think rewatchability, exactly like you said, you're going to pick out those things if you didn't catch it the first time. But I mean, it worked. It was a smash hit at the time.
And another thing you said, this is perfect. So they wanted a tenor to sing the lead, and Zac Efron's voice was too low. So he only sang a few lines in the whole movie, and the rest was voiced by Drew Seeley. He did almost the entire film that one kid did. So they might have went in and out of his voice in one scene. I didn't catch that, but
yeah, that had to be it, because I felt like I heard three different singers.
Well, if they went back and forth and he's singing in different octaves, you would have heard that.
Yeah, because I was like, if it's a change from like one to the other, I'd be like, okay, kind of like what you're saying. But I've thought of it like, did they have multiple singers for this? Because it felt a lot different. I don't know, but it was just me. I guess it was just, that makes sense though. At least we know it's not Zac Efron the whole time.
I love this next one. Okay. So at the beginning of the opening scene where Troy was playing basketball with his dad, originally where they were playing was a dance studio. Now, they covered up the mirrors, and in the back, you could see ballet bars. And I caught it while I was watching it. I saw the ballet bars, and I was like, that's not in a gym.
And pushing it to the 24-day filming, like that's what they had to do, probably.
They had to work with what they had to work with.
It sounds like we need a place to film this scene. I know a guy, but they do ballet. That's fine. We just need anything.
I just thought that was really interesting that I caught that fun fact.
That's awesome.
That was, yeah. So, all right.
Eagle eye.
So it's, and you got the ears. So it's time for our fun fact trivia question. Are you ready?
Oh, let's see if I can get back on the winning streak because I was doing good for a time and then I've hit a slump, but I'm ready.
So this is a pretty easy question, but I tripped it up a little bit with giving you more options. So we'll see here.
Okay.
In preparation for his role as captain for the basketball team, just how many hours did Zac Efron practice playing basketball a day? 2 hours, A, B, 3 hours, C, 4 hours, or D, 5 hours?
That does make it tricky with more answers because I will say, I forget what the movie was called. He was in another movie where he was also showing that basketball skills. Like he was spinning the ball on his finger. And so something's telling me 3. I'm going to say final answer.
You're right.
Yeah. I did it.
3 hours.
All right. I don't know why, but I was like, that just sounds right. Like,
congratulations. I love it. That was a hard one because I gave you multiple choice on that one. That was, that was good.
You're exactly right. I probably would have had it if you didn't have as many choices. And I was almost about to say 2, but I was like, 3 is where you retain. Something was telling me, like, I remember reading about if you do something at least 3 hours a day, like if you really want to master a craft, that's at the minimum. But then again, I could have misremembered. It was less. So yes, got it.
And I think he made every shot that he did in that film, even though they probably clipped it. You know what I mean? But that's still impressive. I mean, you're on cue, you're acting, that's still pretty cool.
He still cannot hold a bone to Air Bud. Air Bud is still the MVP, most valuable player when it comes to
that one scene in Air Bud where he just comes darting across the floor.
I was waiting for that to happen. Just kind of like they started singing about a dog coming in and wonder what Air Bud would be like as a musical. Now I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I don't want to go there.
All right. But point being, I am back on the winning side of trivia. So great question. They almost had me really close, but I'm happy to be on the winning side. Well, let's take a look around because, again, this was a smash hit. It's still, I think, beloved by many people, but we're still curious. So let's take a look around the net and see what kind of reviews are out there. Seth, what are you seeing?
So also not beloved. Chili Pepper Chili Peppers 9182 says absolutely hideous. 1 out of 10. I think that might be our first 1 out of 10. I'm not sure.
Wow. Yeah. Hideous. They didn't just go like, this is bad. We were just talking about they went and got these like attractive actors. Like they were appalled. Like, oh, they're hideous. Wow, that's a new one.
And it's Chili Peppers with a Z, so I really like that one. So
that's a good one.
The next one is Nikki Sweet said, a musical delight, 7 out of 10.
It can be a delight. If you like musicals, again, I understand because this is a good setting. You're talking if you're demographic, you're wanting that teen. I mean, call it High School Musical. Like the title alone, I think sells. But I give them a hand on that. It's a delightful, and it's when it's more on the polished side. There are times where it is more polished. I get it. So that's a good one.
And our last one is from Meditation says, arguably the most iconic and important Disney Channel original movie of all time, 7 out of 10.
That is true. If you look up the impact that this did just for the Disney Channel, I mean, it's just crazy to think there was nothing before it like that. So you got to give credit where it's due. It was onto something. It hit on the right time. They call it lightning in a bottle, whatever. It hit on the right time, and man, it's still being felt 20 years later. I think I saw a lot of people were really excited to see its 20th anniversary, so that makes a lot of sense there. Now, on the other side, we have to put this through the kid test because that's something I do a terrible job of, is talking about my kids. I have 4 kids currently, and fair warning, they do not like musicals. But still, I had to make a note, is this going to get through the kid test? So, my oldest, before it even started, said he hated it. It's like, he's like, this is awful. I don't want to watch it, but I made him watch it.
Oh, no.
I did it for the greater good. His final say was it was the worst musical he has ever seen.
Whoa!
He said he would rather watch Mary Poppins or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang than this movie.
Wow.
That's how much he hated this movie.
Oh, wow.
I commend him. He held back. He did not whine the whole time. I'm thankful for that. You know, but that was his thoughts. My oldest, he's about 10 years old. So that gives you an idea. Maybe the 10-year-olds. Now he's a boy. I will get back to that on the demographic here. My next, he's about 8 years old. He recognized Chad. He said, "Oh, Flight 29 Down. It's a book series, and they made it into a TV series that they have watched. It's these kids that get stranded on an island." So he recognized the actor, and I'm like, that's my boy right there. I do that all the time. I'll be like, "Oh, that's so-and-so." So he seemed to follow it. He seemed to be okay with it, but he did lose interest in it a little bit. I think it's a little, dare I say, it's a little older for him, as much as this is more of a wholesome movie. We didn't really talk about, there's not really much really to be concerned with this film, but he still kind of lost interest. I mean, he thought it was okay. My next, he's 6 years old, and he's like, I wouldn't watch it again. Like, he just did not like it. He's not a big musical guy, so far it's going there. But the best reaction has to be my 3-year-old, because, a little context, we found out, I grew up watching The Price is Right. I know this sounds so random, but they have a 24-hour Price is Right. So just in the background, we'll have that on. Getting back to my 3-year-old, about halfway through, my 3-year-old says, I want to watch Price is Right. So there you go, folks. My 3-year-old would rather watch The Price is Right than this movie. I have to, fair warning, I have all boys. I could see how girls might kind of gravitate towards the romance and that kind of thing. But as far as the kid test goes, it was kind of a failure. It's not something I would put on for the kids again. They struggled to get through this one. So there's the kid test, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to say it, but I was enjoying their reactions and their suffering. I don't want to put them through that intentionally, but I at least got a good chuckle or two. Well, let's get down to it. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, Seth. We're going to start with you. How are you going to rate High School Musical? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic?
All right. So I didn't care for all the songs, but sometimes the acting was lackluster. That being said, I loved several scenes in this one, and the majority of the songs were really great, I thought. I came back and watched it again, and it was good, in my opinion, especially for a premiering on Disney Network on TV, not being a full-fledged movie release with box office. Now, I will watch this at grandma's, hoping that in time I can rewatch. But I do want a little pause there because I watched it twice and I think I need a little reprieve.
I respect that. If you like musicals, I get it. I want to stress that. Like, I kind of knocked it there, but I get it if it leans into it. Like, it's not apologizing to anybody. It's like, we're going to make this Disney Channel musical and we're just going to go with it. And they do it. And there's times where I agree they do a good job on certain scenes and stuff. So I hand it to you. I respect you for that. Like,
can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I just thought of it now. if you look at their ages for like the way that they did this movie, they did a really good job. Like, I don't know that you'd be really hard pressed to find a cast their age that did a better job. So, I mean, besides the little squeaky voice of the one kid, I mean, that whole scene actually, but anyway, we're saying.
No, I just want to give you respect. Like, if you enjoyed it, that's great. Like, I'm all for it. I'm not going to judge anyone but you know, for me, I have to just say, I'm not a musical guy. So this is really hard sell. You got to do things really well. And I think it does at times, but giving my personal take, my review of this, there's too many of those little glaring holes. I mean, it goes back to, I'm going to put the fault at post-production editing. And maybe, again, they had that deadline. So I don't want to just say they're terrible people and all this. I mean, a lot of hard work goes into these movies. So it's not trying to say all these terrible things, but you also have to be honest. Like, there's just so many glaring things about this. It's not a perfect movie at all. There's like just little inconsistencies. If you're really paying attention, you got to turn your brain off. And again, kids, I'm not trying to bash them, but it's just, again, it's more appealing to the kids because they don't think about those kinds of things. They're more enamored with the music and the kids. Oh, they're like my age and stuff. So like you're saying, you have to go into this giving it the proper respect. This is not a high-fledged production. I'm still going to hide this in the attic. I have no reason to watch this again. I did not enjoy my time watching it. I'm just being honest. I think there's a lot better musicals. I will kind of agree with my son. I'm not going to say it's the worst. He was being over-exaggerated with it. I will say it's one of the weaker ones. I get the hype, but I also don't agree with it. I think it was a little overrated. It's not like I would put it up as one of the best musicals ever. I've heard that before, and I'm like, I would tend to disagree with that. But that's also going to be the eye of the beholder. I'm not a musical buff, so this is just my outside looking in. Maybe every once in a while I see a musical. I will go back to the statement of like a play. If this was a play, I bet it would be a lot better. Like just making it a little more of that realistic on a Broadway. And of course, I'm sure they've done Broadway. So I bet those shows are actually really entertaining. But for now, I'm going to hide this in the attic. Yeah, Grandma, don't get this one out again for me. That's my final rating.
So we might have to revisit our musicals we've covered so far, because when I was watching this, I was thinking this might be my favorite musical we've covered so far.
Wow.
So we'd have to do a list each other and then compare them, because I know we're going to come out completely different.
I think what this tells us is we need to branch out and we have to do more musicals, because we've done musicals, but I can't say we've done a lot. So I like your idea, but I think we need to add to that list and see.
Yeah, I agree.
We got some more competition there. So comment below. Do you think we should do some more musicals, and any suggestions? Because we are all about any requests. This is actually, I failed to mention, I'm so sorry, but we got some requests for High School Musical. People were like, you should do High School Musical. So I apologize for not giving you a shout out. We'd like to give recognition to specific ones that give us those requests. So comment down below. We are really interested to hear, because, hey, we'll expand our horizons. We'll give it a fair shot. We're going to be honest as we watch these musicals, even though we might not be your like really heavy. I love musicals. We can enjoy them at times. So feel free to do that down below. Again, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, there you go. Another movie in the books. Even if it is a Disney Channel, it is still a movie we considered. So this was a lot of fun, Seth. So much fun to consider and talk with you about. But before we wrap up, why don't we tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We are on TikTok now at LADX Media. That's Ladix Media. You can email us at moviesatgrandmashouse@gmail.com. We have a great newsletter, so check that out. We're on Patreon, and we're brought to you by movieposters.com. So use code Grandma's House at checkout for up to 15% off.
All good stuff. Yeah, be sure you connect with us. Drop us a line. And if you're on our newsletter, big bonus is that you can win a free movie poster from movieposters.com. It's a fun contest. It's a blast. We love doing it. We love to give back to you, the listeners. So if you're not already, there's a link down below. Be sure you sign up. It's free. There's no obligation whatsoever, and you'll be up to date with all things Movies at Grandma's House. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's, but don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.